good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to meet you in the second International HR Talks, which is now usual every 2 weeks. So today we are sharing with you a very disruptive moonshot thinking initiative. And we say hello to Gustavo Medina, who's joining us, especially from Miami. Right now, he's traveling around all Europe and Saudi Arabia, and he will talk about his great experience about Metaverse in HR. Gustavo, thank you for being here with us and sharing great experiences of the future and the present in Metaverse. And okay, it's your turn. Thank you, Gustavo.
Hello, hello everyone. Thank you, Silvia, Eva. Thank you everyone for inviting me here for this special day for me. I mean, this is the first time I'm trying to explain what the Metaverse is. I'll try to do it in an easy way and do it fast because I'm more interested in learning about you guys. Whatever question you have, and happy to help there. So. I would love to invite Antonio here. Antonio is co-working from us. He will help me with this presentation. Okay, I will guess he will come at some point. Okay, Antonio, let me tell you about a little bit about Singular Factory. So this is Singular Factory. Our company is a kind of venture builder. So what we do is we have an idea, sometimes an idea from you, any of you, or someone, and we are developers. As Silvia says, I'm from Spain, specifically from the Canary Islands. Everyone from Europe, especially from Germany, know exactly where Canary Islands are. So, but our company is a Miami-based company, so we are a very multicultural team. We have people from United States, Europe, Asia, Latin America, different countries, and we all work remotely, which it's also a thing beside the Metaverse right now, right? So what we do in Singular Factory is we got an idea, your idea, for example, and it's because we are basically developers, we have the ability to build that thing technically, right? So we create stuff, create projects, digital projects. So sometimes. And then we put that project into the market, and depending on the feedback in terms of user, revenue, traction, we agree with you, with the owner of the idea, to build a company. So that's what we do. So we have been creating different companies, crazy one, logistic, fintech, and some of them are specifically for the Metaverse. So that's what we do. So be my guest. Any idea you guys have about the new empire, let me know. I'm glad to build it with you. So that's what Singular Factory is. So the Metaverse is, so from Wikipedia, for example, I wrote the definition, the official definition from there is, so from Wikipedia, the Metaverse is described as a collective shared virtual space that is created when the physical realm converges with virtual realms, which includes virtual reality, augmented reality, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's beautiful. But essentially, I believe there is no one Metaverse. It's a group of different metaverses. Right? So, for example, right now we have that meta thing from Facebook. And if you check here, we have Antonio with us. It's the it's the bear with us, so it's a kind of avatar from our own Metaverse. Antonio is actually working with us, so there is it's more like it's the next generation of the internet, right? It's a decentralized multiverse, and it will lead by a lot of creators. That's what we are doing. Actually, Instagram is a kind of Metaverse. I mean, in there are some people pretending to be another person, but it's somehow it's the same thing, but with different technology. So perhaps some of you could remind some previous experience. I don't know if you knew at the time something called Second Life. Second Life it was one of the first metaverse. It's basically a virtual space, and we also with our company started working with Second Life. There, people were able to buy land with real money, right? So we bought some land there, and we built. This is a cathedral from Las Palmas de Gran Canaria. So we built the whole city there, and it was the first version of what Metaverse is today. Also from Germany, we got the Habbo Hotel. Was a great experience. It's actually working. So again, they got too early at the time, but the interesting thing now is those are amazing data right now. I also put here the link for you guys if you need to get that information. This is the consumer trend survey from United States, very early this January. It's amazing. So here you can see that a lot of people, specifically Generation Z and some kind of millennial, they consider themselves as gamers. That's very important. And even more important is that 45% of the new generation, Generation Z, they are about 18, 20 years old right now. So they are coming. They are coming. They believe, I mean, they feel themselves more online than offline, which is crazy, right? So here I have a more data about how US consumers say they are active member of community. Some of them are in online and offline community. Some of them are in both. So the thing is, remember, those Generation Z, they are coming in terms of HR, in terms of talent, in terms of workforce, they are coming. Perhaps some of you guys have already them on board. So you have kids, especially about 9 years old. Perhaps you are familiar with something called Fortnite. It was a very, very famous game, online game. I mean, they have been in the metaverse for a long time ago. So it's new for us, but it's not new for them. Perhaps you have also paid for the virtual asset. You have paid a lot. They bought wings. They bought, swimsuits. They bought different stuff. So it's amazing because among them, they recognize themselves with their avatars. So I mean, most of them have no idea how physically are some of their best friends in the metaverse, right? So this is not new for them. So perhaps we are freaking out with this concept right now, but not for them at all. This is Hugo. Let me introduce you Hugo. Hugo is my son. So I have witnessed how Hugo has been interacting with the metaverse for long. I mean, perhaps you will recognize yourself in the same with the same experience that I already had. Hugo, a few years ago, he had only, most of his friends were online. It's crazy, but I specifically asked him about. So he barely went outside, played football. I mean, he spent some time playing online games, and they have their own group of players. They hang out together virtually online, which was crazy. But then at about 11, when he was 12 years old, he started to build things. Especially, perhaps you are also familiar with something called Minecraft. Minecraft is it's the evolution of Fortnite in terms of user that went from Fortnite to start building stuff on Minecraft, which is crazy. So I left him. He built huge towns, ships, whatever he wanted to, also with friends, also online, also with no offline friend. Also happened something very interesting that after school, with his friends, he was hanging out again online. I mean, even with their physical friends. But the good news is he was able to handle that situation, and now he has a mix. I guess that basically because of the girls and the age, he's starting to hang out physically. So he found himself the way to work in both worlds at the same time. So that's it. Why now? Well, most of you perhaps have heard about Facebook and their Meta project. They are spending huge amount of money building their virtual world. We are about to witness what's going on with them. Last year in Christmas, Oculus Quest 2, their VR device was one of the best gaming platform sold in Christmas. They were competing with PlayStation 5, Xbox, and they won. So that's happening right now. This map it's a place called Decentralized. Decentraland is a virtual city where a lot of companies are actually buying virtual land and building their own space in there. And the evolution and the reason why now the metaverse is blooming is part of that crypto world, Web3 thing with those NFT. I'm not going to talk about that this time, but this virtual world, they already have virtual coins, virtual money, and it makes sense 100%. All of those spaces, they are sharing their I mean, whatever is happening in there, the commerce that is happening in there, those spaces are agreeing with a crypto thing, and that's crazy thing. Antonio, were you say something? Do you want to say something?
No, it wasn't me.
Okay, go ahead. So this is another example. This is augmented reality. With augmented reality, we are talking about augmented reality glasses. Actually, this guy here, I mean, this picture was shot yesterday. So this is Antonio, the bear here. Yeah, Antonio is here, and this is amazing because this is the emergency. I mean, the manager, the guy in charge of the emergencies in Andorra country, that small country in the middle of France and Spain, and they are thinking about build their control room, situation room from the country virtually instead of physically. I mean, this guy here is the manager from Andorra. Antonio was in another country. This was me in another country, and we all together were in the same virtual space, same virtual room, working on a hologram, huge hologram of Andorra. So the thing is, day to day, as a country, small, but as a country, they are planning to build their own situation room, control center, virtually instead of physically. So that's something also. Yeah, so these are the experience of those control rooms here. And now let me show you how we are facing our approach. In terms of HR, this is Nubi. This is one of our ideas. I mean, some ideas we are working on. So let me show you how Nubi is. This is Nubi. This is the real Nubi, right? This is me. So this is an office, a real office. So people in there, those avatars are developers, people working from different countries, and how we use our virtual office, our metaverse experience for work is basically because of we are a remote company. We're about 140 guys working remotely from, I mean, everywhere around the world. But we all work together on Nubi. So let me show you something. I'm gonna step into this meeting room, and I'm going to call Alvaro. I will send a paper plane to Alvaro. Okay, and perhaps Antonio want to join me here. Okay, Antonio is coming. Alvaro is coming. So when Alvaro steps into the meeting room, their camera also starts, and we have a meeting together, virtual meeting in our office. Hey, ¿qué pasa? Hello, hello, Alvaro. Hey, say hello, guys. So this, I'm just. Can you mute Antonio, please? There. So this is the okay, great. This is the way we have a virtual meeting in a virtual office in the metaverse for, and we work together from here. So for us, Nubi, we build Nubis because of we wanted to share that. I mean that experience of oh wait. Okay, I did. Thank you, Antonio. So the thing is, well, I don't know, Albert, do you want to add something about how we experience Nubi here? Oh, Albert, sorry, I asked you if you want to say how do you work together here in Nubi? How do you experience that? Wait. Sorry, Albert, try now. I was using the headband, so go ahead. No. Do you hear him? No, yet, right? Okay, no, Albert, sorry. No, we didn't hear you. Wait, don't worry. Wait a second. Whoop. And now let me show you something more. This is an example. Do you hear me, right, Eva? Okay. This is a bit of an example. This is a job fair on Nubi. So it's a different experience. So this is actually a job fair for HR departments. So those are companies in their booth. So people in there were visiting the space and they were having a job fair experience. So basically the companies were there. We host some remote tech job fairs. So tech resources, developers basically step into Nubi and they visit your fairs, and in those booths, they are companies, actual companies sharing their experience and sharing resumes and you know, so it's amazing. Let me show you a little bit more. Okay, here you can check how this guy, for example, now this is an example. This guy here is stepping into the booth, and when he get in there, the camera starts, and the people from that specific company start showing how they work, talking about their company and their experience, and the candidates are there just listening, and it's a very, very, very funny way to so all of them have their own avatars on the metaverse, so they can experience that virtual job fairs where the networking thing is from our perspective is way better than the traditional remote tools like Zoom, for example, because they have the sense of real people. I mean, behind every single avatar here, there's someone there you can talk to, you can meet, you can chat, but they are there. So now we have another experience, crazy experience. It's the same thing, but it's oh wait. Let me
people gathering together. You can think, okay, this is a very interesting meeting. I need to be there. So it's quite like the real thing.
And this is another example where they just attended the webinars on Nubi, and when the webinar ends, they just step out and went to every single booth to have those meetings with the companies in there. This is a center, a few banks there. So that's our last sample. This one. So this is also interesting because this is the way we are facing the onboarding process. an avatar onboarding into a new company. So this is the welcome message. Wait a second, wait for it. Let me go a little bit further. Okay, the thing is, this guy doesn't exist. It's a artificial intelligence design. Also, what he says is what's written by us. So we are based. We generate real-time videos, 100% customized for new employees. So when they start working with us, they got that video, and this virtual guy is asking them directly. So he say, "Hello, Mario, welcome to the company. You are going to work with this guy, this guy, this guy," because the system, the platform knows exactly where that new employee is going to work. It's going to work with what will be their emails, tasks, whatever. So we are able to create a real-time video with a specific avatar. So that's the way we handle the onboarding process remotely, right? This is what we are building right now. Nubi City is now the new version beside the offices and the event spaces and schools and campus. So we are building a remote city for remote people. No matter that if they come from, if they are interested on some specific learning process, knowledge, campus, academy, language, meditation spaces, office spaces. So this is going to be the metaverse for remote people here, right? So that's what the metaverse means. So for us, as I said, only a few highlights here. Metaverse has been among us for a while. Now it's kind of in fashion, but it's because it has to be at some time. But our kids, our Generation Z, they have been dealing with the metaverse for a while. So it's not new for them. Perhaps it's going to be new for us, but not for them. And it is it's going to be the way to extend our own realm to another space where we can experience different feeling and different spaces with completely new work teams and event spaces. So that's basically what metaverse means for us. So we will see it everywhere. We are working with, as I said, with emergency department, control centers that are actually building the whole thing virtually. We have been dealing with remote office. There are a lot of metaverse spaces like the Central Land. I invite you guys to visit that webpage. Also Meta with Facebook. Those virtual reality devices, the Oculus Quest 2, this is something I guess, it's also cheap, kind of cheap. It's about $200, $300 US. It's something I believe you have to experience as soon as possible. Those new devices are going to change somehow the way we behave and the way we create and build relationships with friends, co-workers, families, and so on. And the COVID, it's somehow have been accelerating that process. Beside the metaverse, COVID, for example, there is a very, very this is a new way. The talent thing from tech, once the big companies realize they can hire people, perhaps some of you, remotely, And no matter where are working from, this is changing the whole thing very fast. And the COVID just accelerate that process from 10 years in only 2 years.
Yeah.
And the metaverse is here because there isn't space to cover, and it's happening right now from our experience. Well, I don't know, Eva, if someone have any kind of question here. I don't want to, being here, I don't want to be here long time just talking about. I would love to hear from you.
Yes, thank you, Gustavo. Thank you a lot. For me, it's a little bit difficult to understand it still. Yes, I learned that metaverse is the relationship in a three-dimensional area, not only in bi-dimensional, but in 3 dimensions. Yes, and do we need to be avatars everywhere, or can we use the VR glasses and we can feel being together in a room?
Well, I guess the metaverse concept is, regardless the technology you are using, you can be on the metaverse with augmented reality, virtual reality, or like us, just using a web browser, right? You can do it 3D, 2D. So the technology behind it's not that important, but you got a very good point here, because at some point, all of the, like I said, we are not talking about a metaverse. I believe we are going to experience a lot of different metaverse spaces. So at some point, the same way that when you log into a new web page and you can use your Google, Facebook, Twitter account to log into another platform, it's going to happen the same way. Perhaps, someday you will be able to move from different metaverse using your Facebook Meta avatar. So you
and it's actually expected that maybe you can have your own avatar and use it in different sites, in different platforms. And of course, you also mentioned a very good point. Maybe the easiest part at this moment is using avatars, virtual avatars like this one. But we are also working on 3D live scanning and 3D live streaming. So you can have instead of a regular webcam, you can have a depth webcam like Azure Kinect, and it can scan you, and you can screen your actual 3D-dimensional presence in another room in real time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let me show you. Yeah.
Gustavo,
go ahead,
could you stop sharing, please, so we can see everybody in the room? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I did.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you. Are there many companies in the States who are using a metaverse in their companies, Gustavo?
Yeah. Every day, some of them are using it. I mean, always you have those early adopters. We are part of those. I mean, we have been, beside our own Nubi experience. The reason why we came up with Nubi is because we needed. I mean, we needed that experience, because, as I said, even before COVID, we have been working remotely for a while. So specifically tech companies, yes, tech companies, they have, you can have a lot of different platforms right now. Gather is one of, if one of them, they have about 10 million users, most of them in the United States, 10 million users, they are a lot. They are sharing in that office, virtual office, metaverse, virtual events, only you have remote. There is a very, very interesting KPI. Instead of searching how many companies or user are on the metaverse right now, you can also check how many startups and how many companies are developing their own metaverse, and how many startups are starting their own metaverse projects, which is a very good measure. And yes, they are. It's on a fashion. Today you can find a lot of startups trying to raise money, and they use those metaverse Web3 concept. So yeah, I guess so. Early adopter and tech company mostly right now, but eventually all of them will come.
Thank you. Gustavo, only my last question, if we open Q&A. Teams from Microsoft is preparing their own metaverse version, and it will come out in the next month. Can you explain a little bit how can we imagine this? Now, sitting together, we are in 3 dimensions, or are we sitting on a table all together? Can you explain a little bit, please?
Well, there are 3 main experiences right now. One of them is into Meta, Facebook, came up with that workspace. I don't know if you guys have experienced that right now. It's a kind of weird. It's a virtual reality avatar meeting room. It's interesting. It's really interesting. They are one of the first we have tried that experience. Something that actually worked is I have attended a few NBA match in the metaverse with Facebook, with Oculus Quest 2. I've been attending a New York Bucks and Miami Heat match. It's with real great seats, great tickets, because they put that 360 degrees cameras in there. So I also have been using the same experience with Facebook. I had the opportunity to attend a few Australian Open tennis match. It's interesting because I was literally in my salon here, sit in my sofa, and with my head this way all the time, as an avatar, attending those matches. Teams, Microsoft is also working on their own virtual experience. They haven't showed too much about the experience, but even more interesting are those Apple augmented reality glasses. Everyone knows Apple is working on their glasses, and as you know, it's some kind of secret until the very last days. So it was supposed to be presented at the end of last year. Because of the COVID, they had to move it to eventually this year. We are not sure. But as you know, Apple specifically has the ability to start new markets, where specifically the B2C market. So beside Microsoft, beside Facebook, for us, it's going to be very, very interesting what Apple will be presenting in the next month, because they have that special ability to put everyone, start a new market, and get us, all of us, a new augmented reality glasses. So that's what's coming to you.
Okay, any questions from the group, from the audience, or experiences?
Yeah, maybe it's Jesus Lozano speaking.
Hi, Jesus.
Hello, how are you, Gustavo? I guess that there are a lot of applications, or they are developing applications as well in some of the main universities there, in the MIT, Harvard, some of them, I guess, no? They are working hard with that, no? Do you know some experience?
Yeah.
Even applications for education, I think is very useful.
Yeah,
very useful. It's a very good application.
it is. Let me show you this. Let me tell with education, it's especially interesting because at least in the US, 15% of the kids are homeschooling. In Europe, that's crazy. But in the United States, you can have your own kids at home and homeschooling means their parents are teaching them. So they only have to go for the test, the level test, but there is no remote school. I'm not talking about the remote school. We are talking about homeschooling. So that's a huge opportunity. And I know that there are a lot of MIT, Stanford project about that. One of those are the ability, I have been testing some devices. One of them is to get the ability to feel something in the metaverse, which is crazy. Some kind of glove and suits where you can actually feel when someone remotely is touching you. It's kind of scary also. But go, Antonio, sorry.
Ultrasonic haptics are quite the new thing in this kind of technology too. Like imagine a keyboard, but it has a lot of small speakers, and when you put your hand over the tablet, you can feel actual sensations, textures, and so on. And you can, for example, you can grab an object, move it in the virtual universe, and drag it and allow another person to interact with it. So it's more physical. It's still virtual, but it's also physical.
Mm-hmm. So if some of you want to know more about that, I'm happy to share all the content we have about them and all our experience and friends in there working on that field.
Okay.
More questions? I think it's really still a very far away thing for a lot of people.
I have a question.
Yeah, Jack, go on.
Hi, hola Gustavo, thank you. It was a nice presentation. I wanted to ask, do you see the metaverse as developing into something that would be the new normal, so that it would replace traditional work practices like in the long term? Or do you think that it would be like something that develops to complement our current ways of working with ways, like as you said, these online job fairs and webinars, of course, that cross geographic borders? Or do you think that it will be like, I want to say, take over how we work, or just complement it?
Oh, well, it's I don't know, Antonio, if you want to add something about that.
Because well, actually it's not hard. It will be like it is tending to become like a mixed model. Of course, video conference didn't replace physical meetings. Of course, Metaverse won't replace 100% other ways of communicating and interacting, but their capabilities are beyond the typical video calls, the 2D video conference or audio only conference, as the same as with your telephone calls. You are still making telephone calls, but you are using more video calls more and more. The same will happen with the metaverse. This moment, especially for us, which maybe we don't have so much experience with the 3D virtual world, but as Gustavo said, the new generations that were born in the virtual world, that would be like a daily basis for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at some point I would love to add that our own experience, as I said, as a company, we're about 140 guys. And we have been working remotely even, years before the COVID situation, right? So for example, experience with Nubi is all about to feel us together as group, and that kind of experience offer us context. It's amazing
that's
how
context,
but it's amazing how, besides, I'm agree 100% agree with Antonio. The virtual thing, the metaverse, never is gonna change. It's not the same thing 100%, of course, but somehow it's amazing to feel how I step into the office 5 hours later than most of them from Europe. I'm stepping in from United States, East Coast, and it's amazing how they realize I'm starting my day there. At the same time, in my evening, I see how they leave the office. I can feel, yeah.
Room, and you can see where everybody is in one side, and we can see, okay, Gustavo has just arrived.
And they send me a paper plane and call me, hey, I need to talk with you because they realize I'm there. And the same way they realize I'm having a meeting with people, having a meeting with Antonio. So they see we are in that specific room having a meeting. Today, I had to talk with Antonio a few minutes before this Zoom because I asked him to join us. So instead of sending a text, instead of just calling him, I just stepped into the room where he was attending a virtual meeting, so a video conference. So it's a kind of a crazy feeling here.
I can imagine the same and expect the same in more services. For example, at university, at school, even had stores online. You could enter a retail store in a virtual space and approach the next front and talk to the people that is actually inside the physical store. So this is going to be more and more frequent, and we are going to see how these kind of technologies get together. For the first years, they were fighting a lot together because they wanted to. This is my standard. I wanted you to use it, but now at this moment, in these last 2 years, the standards have been already established, and everybody is using the same open XR, etc. And it's becoming more standard. So when several people work in different approaches, their content, their stuff can be connected together. So this is the right moment in which everything is falling together, is getting together and connecting the dots.
Yeah, it seems super interesting and cool, like, to make these online experiences more engaging and fun. I can definitely see the applications of that. The only reason I asked if it would take over is because if I think about like what Zuckerberg is saying, what he plans with Metaverse, and I'm just thinking about a future reality where we're literally just sitting in one room wearing VR glasses and just working only online in these virtual spaces. It seems almost scary, a bit like in the movie WALL-E, where everybody leaves the planet and it's a spaceship. Yeah.
No, it is.
In any case, you can think of the new Metaverse as thinking of the smartphones. 20 years ago, thinking about having a small computer in your hand with all kinds of applications, that was science fiction. And nowadays, the actual headsets are too big, they are not really comfortable. But once they become as wearable as regular glasses or even contact lenses, they could be like smartphones, but on your glasses or on your contact lenses. So that would be more wearable, more integrated in your regular life, and you can take them on and off, put them on and take them off anytime you want. So you can keep your privacy, etc.
Besides, as an opinion here, I believe that augmented reality is going to be the thing. I'm not sure about virtual reality beyond the games or beyond some speaks experience, but virtual reality is too immersive. So I personally believe, let's see what's happening. We will see it in a few years. I believe that the augmented reality, when you have real space, real sensation, and you basically augment that feeling with virtual content, it's the thing that is going to win. I believe that Apple is working specifically on the augmented reality technology. Let's see.
Being and allowing people to publish content in this world, so that you can, for example, set your favorite, the same way you set your favorite places in Google Maps, you can say your favorite content, virtual content on your wall, and even decorate your street. For example, I like this kind of streets, this kind of trees when I go out, and I could even decorate my street. So that's quite fun. Oh, I think that Sylvia is Okay.
Gustavo and Antonio, would you do me a favor? Because I posted a very interesting short video about Metaverse at work in the chat. The second one, it's a YouTube video. It's very visual, and you can see what does it mean. Can you put the tone on and only the image into the chat?
Okay.
There are 2 videos. The second one.
The second one. Do you want me to share it?
Yes, please.
I'm on that right now. Okay.
It's short.
Confirm me, please. Do you see it?
That's it. Microsoft Mesh. Can you share sound too? Oh, okay. We can see it. I think that the actual visual content appears a little later.
Okay, you have the link, but you can see that little girl is going, her mother is working from home. And they are doing something for sustainable world. And this is, her colleague is coming in.
That is the 3D scanning screen.
Yes, this is the 3D scans, and they are as if they were working in the same room, and they are in different continents. And this is the real power of Metaverse.
That's it.
Yeah, you can see it, yeah?
Well, those guys are using, they are using those devices. This is, I mean, this is the HoloLens 2. That's the same device I just told you about. That's the device they are using for the situation room that I just said. It's the same thing.
In order to achieve that result, they are using these HoloLens glasses in order to view it. And as you connect a web camera, it's like a regular webcam, but it also captures like a LiDAR with depth, so that instead of a flat image, you can have this volume, this 3D scan.
Yeah, so it's incredible. You can build cars from China with the States, you build them all together. Look, that girl, she had an injury in her arm. She says hello to her doctor, and he's looking at her arm and he gives her pieces of advice. This is great. And this is a big advance.
That's
it. Yeah, that's the augmented reality technology. I just said that Apple. What Microsoft did here is it was meant for B2B market, and Apple will be focused on B2C.
Yes.
Jack.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to go back to the HR part of it, because you showed some interesting examples of, like, you know, webinars or online job fairs. What are other areas of HR where you could see an application in the metaverse, where it could become standardized for HR?
Well, for us, besides the onboarding, I mean, for HR, well, we today we are focusing on office spaces. We have also interesting on, in terms of HR, in the well-being space. I mean, meditation, those kinds of application, they totally make sense in the metaverse, and we have been witnessing some experience in that way. And also, beside the job fairs and the recruiting process, there is something about learning and updating process. I mean, as Jesus just said, there is a huge opportunity with in terms of education and for companies, and I mean those update process, because sometimes when you need a very good expert about something, you cannot expect to have them in your own city, on your own department. Besides that, your own team is going to be working from different places. That's an opportunity to reach real good talent, regardless where they actually be. So that's we so far we believe there are 3 opportunities there: job fairs, recruiting staff, remote office and well-being, and that schooling or updating or teaching or learning process. Those, Jacks, are the spaces we believe we have the opportunity here.
So a lot around candidate experience as well. Like if you're talking about recruitment, for example.
Yes.
So I could, for example, see applications, for example, when you do, you know, like an assessment for companies, you have to answer like questions and quizzes, but it's like all within this virtual office space. So you enter, you're in a waiting room, and then you go into a room to do the test instead of just looking at your screen. Something like that, you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's true.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, some more questions over here. No, nobody. Gustavo, would you like to add something, or Antonio?
Well, I would love to thank everyone for choose us. I spent some time with us together learning more about Metaverse and specifically about our experience there. This is something that it's coming. I will only highlight that Generation V concept. They are gamers. They have been gamers for a while, and they are coming. And you guys are going to meet them very soon. And yeah, and you have to be ready because they won't freak up that much with these new ways of interaction in virtual interaction and that avatar concept. So that's the big thing I will highlight here, because we need to be ready at some point to welcome them.
How long, it's Jesus again, how long do you calculate, or do you estimate that can be very
this Jesus, there was a breaking point here, was the COVID that accelerate the whole thing.
Yeah,
COVID somehow, not only Metaverse, not only remote working, not only that talent shortage we have everywhere, specifically in the tech industry. It's amazing. It's crazy what's going on here. So COVID accelerated the whole process. So I guess 2-3 years from now, you will get those employees that won't be that weird to experience those kinds of technology in terms of working together. That's my guess.
Yeah, but most of the technology is already developed. Huh?
Yeah, and the best part is it's still coming. Wait for Apple. Let's see. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah. I told you they are able to start a new market, a new behavior. I mean, they weren't the first with the touchscreen smartphone. They weren't the first with the tablet. They weren't the first with the watch. But when they decide to start that product, the whole thing starts with them.
Yeah. I told you before about in education that I guess that they are using a lot. That is because I have a friend who is living in Boston, and he is linked to the MIT. And I think that they are developing, well, all the technology. He told me that is already almost ready. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. You have to realize that those huge institutions like MIT, they also want to reach those remote students willing to be there. I mean, that's a huge opportunity for them. Everything's going to change eventually, not only from the teaching point of view, but also reaching more students remotely, and they won't need to be physically in Boston anymore. So that's the opportunity for them. Sylvia, one question for you, if you or Eva, how we can share our presentation? I mean, I can share my email, and if you guys want to tweet or
send it to me, we are going to share it. Yeah, don't worry. Okay, Gustavo and Antonio, thank you very much. You invited me to your offices in Miami. I will be there by the end of this month. I'm going to see you to share your experience, and I'm going to share it with our community. Okay, thank you everybody, and see you during the next 2 weeks, the 3rd edition. Thank you, Gustavo and Antonio. Bye bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Ciao.